Okay. I think I'm live. The little thing over here is still clocking, but all right, here we go. Hello, folks. Kyle here. Dark 30 Outdoors. Welcome in. Happy Wednesday night, everyone. How we doing? Welcome in. I see we got Tiger Muskie NM is in the house. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well this evening. Tina Ladybug popping in to say hello. Hope you're doing well tonight. Lots to get into tonight. I felt like opening talking about football, but I don't suppose anybody cares about football. It's a rough weekend for me. Boy, I'm a fan of the Buckeyes, and they got trounced by Oregon. And I'm a Browns fan, just like Todd over at Boxy Outdoors, and they lost their opener at Arrowhead. I think that was a tough assignment to open the season with one of the best teams in the entire league. I mean, come on. And on the road, and we had to go there and get whooped in the playoffs last year. I mean, it was just all bad. I didn't like that at all. You know what? They were in the game. They had a chance to beat them. We got Anti-Ajax in the house. Welcome in. Sure. For the secret YouTube knowledge to their hopes. That's fantastic. I am going to get into that for sure. That's not really, I'm not a subject matter expert on that. If I was, I'd probably have a whole lot more subs and a whole lot more views. And, I'd probably be, John B or something. I probably shouldn't use him because I know he's polarizing. Some people love him and some people hate him. I'm kind of lukewarm. Sometimes his stuff is interesting, and sometimes he's just a cocky little kid. But anyway, rich little kid. Suburbs of Chicago, just beating around in creeks and rivers and ponds, and then look where he is today. My hat's off to him. But anyway, I digress. We'll get into that on down the stream here. It's mostly going to be my opinion, my thoughts on the matter. I'm happy to bring anyone else up on panel and bounce some things off of them. It'd be neat to get a crowd in here. I don't know. I know he's probably got a crowd over there. He's going to do the Carlton dance. He's super guy, a lot of fun, and all the best for him. Absolutely. I popped in there for a bit and said hello. But yeah, I do have some things I definitely want to share that are kind of my insights on that. And I've seen a lot of other people talk about it. I know some of my good friends, Matt from Daddy Duck 365 and Cody from After 5 Outdoors and Tom Celtic and Everything Outdoors. Some of those folks are in a Facebook group called Tube Ritual. And that is, he already did the dance. That's fantastic. Welcome in, Judith and Dan Davis. Welcome in. He got his 50 thumbs up. That's awesome. I lost my train of thought. Talking about the Tube Ritual folks. That's headed up by Brian G. Johnson. His channel is phenomenal. It is centered solely around how to be successful on the YouTube platform. And he does a fantastic job. Sometimes it's a little wordy, but if that's your main gig, it probably has to be. I'm gonna try to drive home some points that simplify. Hopefully, it will simplify some things. But like I said, we'll get into that. I'm just small time, and a lot of my folks in my community are small time, and maybe we can all build each other up. I know being a part of the community, community that was built up by common people that we have in our support groups, whether it be Mo Homesteading or Trapper J or Todd over at Boxy Outdoors, Daddy Duck 365, After Five, Cody, M&K Outdoors, on and on and on and on, Backwoods Barbarian, Freezer Bound folks. Please, if I didn't name you, that don't feel left out. I'm just rattling them off the top of my head. We want to support each other. Todd, we call it the Boxy rules. It's about support. It's not about you hit me, I'll hit you. That's not the game we want to play. It's you find someone you genuinely appreciate their content and you support them. You watch your videos. We got Al's Outdoors in the house. Welcome in. I enjoy Judith and Dan's trapping videos. Boy, I tell you what, they were sent some beavers last season, and they were tearing them up. That was fantastic. I enjoyed that immensely. But I'll keep going back. That's that support thing. Keep going back, and I'm gonna drive on some things hit on some things that can kind of drive that. I'll share some of those things a little bit later on. For now, I'm kind of stalling around, poking around. I'd like to see a few more folks come in, and we'll get into some gear talk and talk about fun stuff to buy, because we all got to go out and buy stuff, right? Or you really don't have to. That's kind of the neat thing about YouTube is you can put content out there without gear, without spending money. I mean, I think most of us have got a cell phone. We see that as more than just something that we would do to put content on the YouTube platform. We do that to communicate with others. We do that to, if you got a smartphone, then it serves many purposes, right? It's a multi-use tool, right? You're going to be able to talk to people on the phone. You're going to be able to send them text messages. You're going to be able to pull up YouTube and watch my video. The point is, it's a tool that you can use to do that, and most people are going to have at least that, and it's fantastic. It works fantastic. It's a great starting point for those that are on a budget. That allows and enables you to, create some content, put it out there, let people get a feeler for what your interests are and what you're going to share with the world. My good friend, I've mentioned him many times, Scott over at Railroader Outdoors and more. That's basically what he does. He uses his phone. He creates shorts. He creates some videos that are longer, and he uploads them. I'm pretty sure all of his stuff is just straight from his phone right into YouTube. But he's also relatively new to it. Down the road, he might invest in an action camera. He might start using a regular camera. He might get a handy cam. I don't know. You could probably pick up a handy cam secondhand really cheap. I got mine brand new, not this past summer, but the summer before, summer of 2020, for like $140 delivered to my door. I mean, it's brand new. So, I mean, I know if someone really wanted to secondhand, they could probably find one for, $60, $50, $75, whatever. Yeah, Al's Outdoors mentions looking at GoPros right now. There's good with GoPro and there's bad with GoPro. I believe that one of the hey, we got Wildman 307 Outdoors in the house. Welcome in. I believe one of the the good things about a GoPro is their build quality. They are built tough. And that's kind of a big deal with an action camera because they bounce around. I've knocked into them with my fishing rods and banged them into the side of the boat, netting muskies and everything else. I mean, you want it to stand up to abuse. And GoPros are built really, really well. They do stand up to the wear and tear. The build quality, that's first class with the GoPro. They are a little bit pricey though. You're paying for that build quality and you're paying for that name. And then when we get into reviews, some of the newer ones I saw talk about overheating problems. But predominantly, I'm going to be using it in the summertime when I'm fishing and I'm out and the sun is cooking me on the lake. I wasn't interested in dealing with overheating problems. We got Off the Hook Outdoors is in the house. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you're doing good tonight. Hope you're doing well tonight. Doing good, however you want to say it. I'm a hillbilly at heart. Boy, I tell you what, I'm just a little bit surprised. No John from Smallwater Charters. Matthew Small's in the house. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you had a good weekend up north. I believe you were up there this past weekend, hanging out with CJ and the Shit Captain's homestead. Probably knocking down some alcohol and chopping up some wood or carving some wood. Working on some projects, I suppose. But Al, I'm glad you mentioned action cameras. We'll get into some of the gear. Like I said, the phone is easy enough. Just if that's all you got, and that's all you need. You can keep it that simple if you want to. Now, if you're interested in doing other things and you really want to kind of capture the action or be filming while you're doing it, it can be a little bit trickier with the phone unless you got somebody that's doing it for you, a partner, buddy, spouse, however you want to say it. That works great too. But nice thing about action cameras is they're small enough you can stick them somewhere, whether it's on a hat harness or the chesties, as a lot of people wear, the fishermen, and then the shoulder harness. So Al, you mentioned GoPro, and you didn't know, didn't know where to start, and there is 8, 9 different, maybe even 10 now different GoPro versions, and then there's all the knockoffs. One thing I'm going to share with you is the very first action camera that I bought. It is a Canon V50 Elite, and it's just it's a knockoff, but it has. I'll tell you the best things about this little action camera that was only $140 delivered to my door, and that's that the picture quality is really, really good. I think really, really good. I think it's right up there with the GoPros and some of the other cameras. It has the film. I don't even know how to describe it. It has the film types that you want. If you want the 4K, it's got that. If you want to do it at 1080p, it's got that. Whatever you want to film at, it's got that, and it's got the speeds that you're going to need. People talk about 120 frames per second and higher. I don't know that that's all that it's cracked up to be. If you get 30 or 60, you're fine. Your slow-mos will be fine. I film most of my stuff in 1080p and 30 frames per second. It's perfectly good enough. This is $140 to your door on Amazon. Another awesome thing about this camera, the Canon V50 Elite, I can put a link down. I'll say that I will. I'll put a link in the description of this live stream when I'm done. They send you 40 or 50 accessories with this thing. So you're going to get all the little trinkets that enable you to attach it to the hat harness and the chest harness and all these things. It comes with all of those things. It's got a housing if you want to dunk it underwater. It is not waterproof in and of itself. That's another big difference between this and a GoPro. A GoPro, if you want to dunk it under the water and get footage of your fish swimming off or something, you'd want to get the GoPro for that. And I mean, you can do it with this. You're going to put it in a housing, and the sound quality goes to shit when you do that. So I used the housing, I think, on one video. And after that, I was like, And it was because I was worried about being on my kayak and dunking. Well, I dunk in my kayak 1 out of about 20 trips. So I've just started saying, screw it. If it gets wet, it gets wet. And this has actually been dunked. It's not waterproof, but it was dunked on my kayak last fall around this time of year, maybe a little bit later in the year. And the water was getting cold. It was down around 58, 60 degrees, and I dunked in the creek. But I got these. The one was right on my shoulder harness, and the other, and it was running. I was hoping it captured it. Every file on that micro SD card was fine, except for the last one. It was corrupted. So while it was running, I was thinking that'd be really cool if it captured me capsizing, but it didn't capture that. So that was unfortunate. But the beauty is this, and then this other one that was in my tackle bag, I got them out. I got home. I aired them out as best I could. And for the most part, they're fine. They both had a little bit of issues with the image stabilization and the autofocus that's built into them for about a week or two. But then eventually that moisture continued to evaporate out of them, and they were fine. Yeah, and this is my other one. This is a Yi 4K action camera. Again, awesome picture quality, just slightly better than the Acaso. I think I want to say I paid $240 for this. But I like it. The best part about this was that I was going to be able to plug a USB cord in there while it was running and recording. It could be charging, so that was going to extend the life. This guy doesn't have that. So the batteries that came with it last about 30-35 minutes. I was able to find some aftermarket. If I can get that centered in the can. I was able to find some aftermarket batteries that last about 45 to 50 minutes. So I got 2 of those, and I've got the 2 originals. So it gives me close to 2 hours of film time, but it's a pain that the batteries, once a battery goes dead, you got to take it off whatever harness it's on and get the battery out, change it out. It's just a pain in the butt. Whereas this, I was able to plug it in and forget about it. It's going to run while charging. Anywhere from about 4 to 6.5 hours. It just kind of depends where it was at when I started, and if the charger had been fully charged, that sort of thing. The sound on this thing was terrible, especially for wind noise, and it has like wind noise reduction feature in it, and it just doesn't do much. So you see, I taped a bunch of fuzz up here to it. I bought these little fuzzy accessory things, but they improved it. They improved the sound quality or that wind problem a little bit, but I was still able to pick up wind on it. So I don't know about that. So that's so that's the action cameras, and then they're relatively affordable. This is $140 for anyone just getting started. I recommend going this route. $140 to your door. It comes with all the accessories. That's the big thing. Those accessories are pretty universal. So they apply to this guy. They apply to this guy. They apply to any GoPro that you want to buy. So just getting a camera and those accessories makes that definitely 100-fold worth it. I had a chest harness. I don't even know what happened to it. I don't know if I threw it away or if I left it somewhere or whatever, but I got rid of it because I felt I'm always, setting the hook and fighting the fish, and if that camera's right here, I found I was blocking the view of the camera a lot. So I invested in one of these, the shoulder camera. Now, as I'm setting the hook and fighting the fish, the camera is still able to capture most, if not all, of that action. And this was $40. It's a Stuntman shoulder harness cam, wraps around and locks onto me. I really, really like it. So that's more gear. Again, none of this is super expensive. Even my laptop, I don't think I paid $300 for it. I think I paid $260. Nothing super expensive. Very, very affordable. And then I got the action cam, the Handycam, Sony Handycam. For anything that's going to have a little bit of distance away from you, these action cameras are not ideal. Like when I'm deer hunting, I might have a deer that's 50 yards away. That's to the eye, that's not very far away. I can see it very plainly. For this, it's going to look like a cat that is 100 yards away. So getting a good action camera, and I think some people do use a regular camera, a mirrorless camera, DSLR, whatever you want to say. You need a camera that's got a good optical zoom. Don't want digital zoom. Digital zoom is not going to help you, because on digital zoom, it's not a true zoom. It gets you closer, but then it kind of pixelates the picture. It's not actually zooming in on the subject. Whereas optical zoom is able to zoom in on subject, so your picture doesn't get all pixelated. There's other factors that are involved in that that you really got to pay attention to. One is light level, low light level, and autofocus. Those things can get really wonky on you. But you definitely want something with optical zoom. Okay. Well, Off the Hook Outdoors, you mentioned the GoPro 9. That was the one that I saw that I was considering it, the newest, latest, greatest, and that was the one on the reviews. A lot of people talking about it's overheating. And I was like, I'm not going to dump a bunch of money into an action camera that's going to give me fits. So I kind of backed off that, and that's when I jumped on the Yi 4K. You'll notice my Sony Handycam sitting on a tripod. That's my newest gear investment. I did just pick that up. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's kind of a cool little thing, cheap enough. It was like $25, $26 at Walmart. Throw the camera on it, and it's in a static position. There's a lot of maneuverability into that. I can higher up, lower, whatever. Oh, on the 7, yeah, that might have better sound. Yeah. That's taking it pretty far. If you've got a camera with optical zoom, that's going to take some of your subjects that might be further away. If you're deer hunting, turkey hunting, I mean, gosh, go out west if you're, glassing for elk or mule deer. That's just, then you're going to want a really high optical zoom. I mean, this thing I think has this has a 30 optical zoom. And again, budget minded, if I can get that to shut. This is the, oh, shoot. Let's do this. I took my glasses off, and I probably should not have. Ooh, I'm not. Sony. No, I can't come up with it. I'll put it down in the description when I'm done here. This little Handycam was $150. It was $150 in the summer of 2020 to my door. I mean, it's not great, but it works. It's relatively cheap. brand new, 140 bucks, 150 bucks, whatever it was, 125 bucks. I don't know. This is cheap, and it was brand new, and it works. It's got that optical zoom. Now, if you were out west, glass and muleys are stuff that's 300-400 yards away, 500 yards away. You're going to want, probably 80 to 100x optical zoom, because they're out there. They are way, way out there. It made all the difference in the world as far as being able to film deer while I'm hunting. I'll tell you a challenge on this guy. I'll tell you the challenge right now. You see that screen? That is a 3-inch screen. Okay, that's pretty small. That's pretty small. Now, let's do something here. Let's just say I'm in a tree stand, right? I don't want this right here, do I? Right? As a bow hunter, see, I'm knocking into it, right? I'm going to knock it over. That's no good. That's no good. I don't want that right here where I can look into that viewfinder and see it, right? Because now it's in my way. So I need it over here or down below, right? Now this has an adjustable viewfinder screen. I can turn, it could be up here, it could be down below me. I can angle it so that I can see it, right? Which is kind of cool because that screen will be backlit, right? So if I'm up in the tree, I kind of want to angle this part down that is not backlit, and then the backlit part's pointed upward, so deer and other critters, they can't see that. So that's good, right? And I don't know if you've caught on where I'm going with this. A deer that's 50 yards away walking through the woods, I can see it perfectly fine with my eye, right? But I've got that handy cam down, and it's 2 or 3 feet away from my face, so that it's not in my way of drawing my bow. So now I'm looking at a 3-inch screen that's 2 feet away from my face, and all the trees look the same. Okay. So as you point the camera and then try to zoom it on your subject, and your subject's moving, it's very challenging. That was something I had to learn last year. So I played around with where I put it in the positioning, and it was a lot of work. But it was, it was a learning experience. It's something that's part of it, right? So I am eventually going to get another one of those. This is going to give me a second fall hunting season. I'll continue to use this little guy this year. Last year, my left arm was jacked up, and I tried to fight through it and shoot my bow, and I wasn't shooting it regularly. And in the moment of truth to harvest a deer, I whiffed. This year, my right arm's all jacked up, and I'm not going to fight through it. I do have a crossbow, so I'm getting that dialed in. Hey, we got see Alan Cocheeser is in. Welcome in. No problem being late. That is no big deal at all. Oh yeah, 300 yards away. Yeah, so yeah, that's you want something that can zoom in on those subjects, or you're never gonna be able to see them. But I'll eventually get one of these that has a little bit bigger viewfinder screen, and I think that'll help a lot, and maybe just a slightly bigger sensor to give me a little bit more contrast on that screen as I'm looking at the woods, especially in low light. That's a big part of it too. The very first time I took this Handycam to the woods, when when darkness really started to settle in after dusk, where I still have 10 minutes of shooting light left, give or take, I had deer within 30, 40 yards of me. And I was trying to get them on the camera, and it was just pixelating out the wazoo. In fact, it was kind of the picture would kind of it would come in and then it would pixelate, and then it would come in for just a few seconds and then it would pixelate. Hey, we got MB Heritage Farms in the house. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh yes, and my brother Mark J. Larson is in the house. Welcome in, welcome in. So what I found out, what was going on with the picture, why it was like pixelate and unpixelate and then pixelate and unpixelate. In low light conditions, your autofocus is gonna lose its focus point. So it'll find a new focus point and try to autofocus on that, and it just struggles and struggles and struggles. So to the workaround to get around that is you want to take your autofocus off so that your camera will not do that pixelating dance in low light conditions, whether it's dawn or dusk. You want to take your autofocus off. Do it middle of the day, your backyard, whatever. Go outside, take your camera, take the autofocus function off, and then use manual focus. And find something that's really far away, whether it's however far you think your line of sight is where you'll be hunting, maybe 100 yards, 200 yards, whatever the case may be, and manually focus on that one subject item that's 200 yards away. Now, once that's in focus, everything closer than 200 yards will automatically be in focus as well. You won't have to refocus in. If you go to that distance, manually get it focused in, everything from there in is already in focus. You won't have to change anything. So then when you get into those low light filming conditions, as you zoom in or zoom out, or you point your camera at a subject, it's not going to be struggling to autofocus on a subject that it can't lock onto. So that's huge. That's huge. And I don't know if Boxy Outdoors is going to watch this. I tried to give him a hint that his autofocus was going to trip him up when he's filming his deer hunts. But hopefully he'll catch on. I didn't bring it in. I could run out and grab it. Sit tight for just 1 second. Get my light to work. There it goes. This right here is my El Cheapo camera gear bag that I take when I go hunting. And it has a Muddy Outdoors camera arm. This is the basic camera arm. I think it was $40. Again, I am the budget YouTuber. I don't spend a ton of money on this stuff. I know there are people that film their deer hunts and they have the arms that have the little remote right here that they can just zoom and hit record and unrecord and all that, right? I don't. I have just a very basic arm. I stuck some cinch straps on here to when I get to my hunting, where I'm going to be hunting, I just stick this on the tree, cinch up the straps, and then this is your, it has a lot of versatility to it. I can tilt this up, tilt this, this up, down, and these have tensions that I can loosen or tighten. It seems like it's a little bit tighter than it should be right now, but it's easy enough just to, the camera, the Sony Handycam has a base that it screws into, and then this just has a simple lock lever that I drop that into there. So that's easy peasy. kind of a mobile setup. In a perfect world, I'd have 3 or 4 of those arms, and I would just put them in the tree and leave them there, especially since the camera, you know, the camera can come off of those and just put them on the base. See, this is the base that screws in. Now, this base for the tripod, coincidentally, it's different than the base for the arm that attaches to the tree, but it's not a big deal. But I'm considering, you know, getting it, maybe at least 1 or 2 more of those arms, and maybe have 2 of my spots will have the camera arm locked on, and then maybe I have 1 in the bag that I can take to spots that don't have it pre-established. I don't know. No, it's not a fluid head. It's a friction head, which is pretty smooth for me. I don't know if you want to go back and look at a couple of my deer hunting videos where I actually saw some deer. You can see me following the deer, and it's not real shaky or chopped up. It's relatively smooth, and it is adjustable, so you can make it. As smooth or as tight as you want it to. Some of that's affected by the weather too. You know, I think I had adjusted it in my kitchen, and then when I got out there and it was 20 degrees out, I had to, you know, change some of those. The tightness on some of those adjustments. Snug them up a little bit. So that's gear. I mean, and then there's these little guys, right? The little micro SD cards that we put in the action camera. You're going to have 2, 3, 4 of those. You can get those at all different kinds of 32 megabytes, 64 megabytes. I even bought one that's 128 megabytes. I think it was $45, $48 or something. I've got a couple of the regular SD cards. This is the converter, obviously, that the little micro slides into, but I've got some regular SD cards, you know, that I put in trail cameras and that sort of thing floating around in my office somewhere. So yeah, I mean, I don't have it in front of me. It's off in my office somewhere on a spreadsheet that I don't think I've spent $1,000 on my gear for YouTube in 2.5 years. I mean, we'll call that 440, 565. We'll just say 580, 620, 640, 660. $30 for this, 690. Another harness set was probably 710. I mean, yeah, if you don't count the laptop, which I would have bought anyway, not just for doing YouTube, right around $800, $780, $800, whatever. Not bad for having 2 action cameras, a Sony Handycam, and some harnesses and camera arms and tripod. I mean, would I love to have a DSLR? Sure. I've been looking at a Canon S50, I think it is. Let me pull that up. Get into the old. The Canon EOS M50, the M50, for just a good old-fashioned mirrorless camera. Tons of good reviews on those, and tons of YouTubers use those cameras to film. Yeah, Al's Outdoors. That's a challenge for sure. Fishing Local 336 in the house. Welcome in. Welcome in. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Talking different types of YouTube gear. I promised earlier I'd eventually try to provide some insight and ideas on triggering the algorithm. We'll get into that yet. Still kind of chiming in on gear. But that Canon M50, it's a camera I've been eyeballing for a couple months now. It's something I'd really like to have. I think it's a gear item that I could kind of take it to the next level. I think that would be pretty neat to have. Awesome for vlog style videos, and also I think to get some really good, clean, crisp video footage while I'm out in the field or on the water. I would never take it kayaking. It's not for that, but I would take it out on the boat and out in the field for sure. Another gear item that I've looked at is the Insta 360 cameras. The capabilities of those things is phenomenal. I remember watching a deer hunting video where this guy, he's hunting by himself. He's in a saddle in a like a tree line, and as we're watching the video, you see him draw on the deer, and the camera zooms in on him. Then you see footage of the deer. The camera is on the deer, and it zooms in on the deer, and then the deer gets shot. And I went straight to the comments. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I could see you're in the tree by yourself. How in the world were you able to zoom in on yourself after you drew your bow? How in the world were you able to zoom in on the deer after you draw your bow? And he shared with me that's all done in post editing. The camera captures all of that, and you then in editing can decide what you want to be part of your video. I mean, I was like, wow. So that's caught my eye. I don't think that would be my next upgrade, for the simple fact of, one, is that super practical for what I do. The fishing style that I have and the kind of the hunting that I do. I'm sure it would really be nice in hunting. I'm not so sure it'd be awesome for fishing. Maybe I'd be impressed with it. I'm not sure. I recognize the technology and the capability, and I think it's awesome. Do I need that? Do I got to have that? I don't know. That's one part of it. The other part of it is, I mean, that's a lot of money, and then that's a lot of work. That post shoot editing, that's got to be awfully tedious to go in and review all of that and tell it what you want it to, focus on and keep and get rid of all the other excess stuff. I'm sure it's monumental. The post shot editing for those things has got to be wow. Hey, that's a great question. What editing software do I use? I use DaVinci Resolve, the free version. It's super comprehensive. I can do a lot with that. I can't even imagine being able to do more because I'm not a videographer. Maybe if I studied videography in college, or I learned all of the gajillion tricks and whatnot that is capable, I'd maybe feel like I needed more. But me being just regular average Joe, which is one of the cool things about YouTube, it's mostly just regular people doing regular things. I promise you that, to me, that's one of the biggest appeal aspects of YouTube. For what I'm going to be doing, it's more than enough. It's got all the features that I could ever hope for in the free version. I didn't pay a nickel for it, and it works really well. Now, I don't know if it's my laptop or if it's the software or it's an older version or whatever, but when I am doing the editing in that software, it can get just a bit choppy, just a little bit choppy. It's not bad, but that's part of it. And I don't know, that could just be my system limitations or what have you. I don't know if I have enough RAM or what. I mean, before I downloaded it, it does like a system scan to make sure you've got at least the minimum whatever, and I do. So it's not anything that's a deterrent. It's not anything that's ever made me go, gee, I'm not able to edit my video because of that part of it. But it'd be neat if it just played it smoothly when I'm in there. We got Canyon Roberts Outdoors is in the house. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. So, geez, the cow. There's one item of gear for YouTube that a lot of outdoors types folks use that I don't have, that it would be neat to have, but I haven't gone there yet, and that's a drone. Having one of these autopilot drones that you put it up there and you tell it to 360 film or whatever, and then you can go fishing and do whatever you want to do, and it's just up there filming you for 10 or 15 minutes. That would be so cool. I've done a little bit of cheapy toy drone flying, and they're a little bit tricky, especially the smaller ones, because you can really, if it gets far away from you, you kind of lose sight of what's left, right, forward, back. But the advanced ones that are more expensive and just a little bit bigger, a lot of them have these auto modes, and they practically fly themselves. Or it's pretty fluid to, take them out a ways and then bring them back. And anyway, having a drone would be really, really cool. But I think that's an add-in. That's a little bit of an enhanced footage. You get a little bit of B-roll to add it. But is it practical? For me right now, no, but eventually, maybe a year down the road, 2 years down the road, I don't know, maybe that's in the cards for Dark 30 Outdoors. But right now, I don't have that. But some people do, and that's fantastic. Well, Al, have you seen they've got them now that they'll follow you through the woods, and they can figure out how to avoid all the trees and branches and sticks and stuff. Like people on mountain bikes, they'll be riding their bike through a trail that goes through the woods, and the drone follows them, and it's that's nuts. And those are really pricey, but the new one that came out I want to say 6, 8, 10 months ago, the something mini. Boy, that's really helpful, isn't it? I got it in here somewhere, buried. Come on. The DJI Mini 2. Yeah, if money wasn't an object and I could just grab whatever drone I wanted, that's the one I would get. Yeah, you're not zipping through the trail through the woods, or yeah, it would lose signal. That's right, and then it would crash. So yeah, I mean, it'd be neat to have a drone to play with, but certainly not critical and certainly not a requirement. For anyone that's budget minded on this stuff, yeah, that's probably going to shoot the budget. But there's a lot of this stuff that you can do pretty cheap. That's about it that I can think of for gear. The Cena Pro would be my next choice. Okay. That might be the one I was thinking of that follows you through the woods and stuff. Yeah, drones now, they are building them a little bit more compact. In fact, that DJI Mini 2, they've got it down to the science where it's below the weight threshold that you don't have to have the the certification. And I also believe it doesn't have the ballistic restrictions on it either. All right, so I'm going to transition over into algorithm talk. Yeah, that's really cool, Mark J. I saw some of that. That's really, really cool. A lot of people feel like the algorithm is unfair, or the algorithm is holding them back, or their channel doesn't grow and it's because of the algorithm. My latest video I put a lot of heart and soul into it, and it's really an artistic touch to it, and it's fantastic. If more people would see it, I'd get 2 million views. But the YouTube algorithm is holding me back, right? There's probably a lot of people that if YouTube showed their videos to more people, they would see the growth and the success that they want or that they're hoping for. I don't know. I'm going to do a quiz. Okay. I jotted down some questions and you can just throw these answers out in chat. This is pretty simple, very straightforward questions. The first question on this quiz is, who do you want YouTube to show your video to? Quiz question number 1. Who do you want YouTube to show your video to? See what we get for responses to that question. Right? Al says kids. Wild Man says outdoors people. Ty says to me and MP Heritage Farms. And Mark J. Outdoors says, any outdoorsman or woman. Okay. Those are great responses. Those are great answers. I feel like most of you are getting an A so far. Anti, you might want to aim a little bit broader. Expand your horizons, young man. Okay, so do you want YouTube to show your video to everyone in the world? That's question number 2. Do you want YouTube to show your video to everyone in the world? Like, put up the little impression there for you. Morgan says, sure. Sure, to everyone, the whole world. Absolutely. That's a confident young man right there. I love it, man. I love the confidence. 2 thumbs up for that. Fishing Local 336 says no. Mark J. Larson says, sure, give it a try. House Outdoors says he doesn't care. He just doesn't like some of the restrictions. Right. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. What are you eating? Pieces of that towel that you tore up? This dog eats everything. I've never seen a dog eat like this. She eats leaves, grass, sticks, twigs, old walnut shells, dirt, bugs, all the bugs, crickets, whatever she get in her mouth outside. She tears stuff up in the house, and then when it's little pieces, she'll eat that. She just eats everything. All right. We got some responses to question number 2. Let's move on. Question number 3. Do you utilize all of the YouTube platforms? So you can make a regular video and put that on YouTube. You can do the YouTube Shorts. That's another platform. And then there's live streams. You can do a live stream on YouTube. Do you use all of those platforms in your arsenal? Right. I can appreciate that as a challenge, Morgan. Absolutely. And I don't know how you get around that. That's just how they do. YouTube's funny that way. But we're on question number 3. Do you utilize all of the YouTube platforms for putting content out there? Regular videos, the shorts shelf, and live streams. We got Mark J. Larson says yes. Wild Man says 2 out of the 3. And Fishing Local 336 says no. Okay. Again, we're driving this down with these quiz questions. We got anyone else? Do you use all of the platforms? Yay, nay, maybe. I think about it. Considering it. I'll tell you right up. I was reluctant to do shorts. Crazy dog. I was reluctant to do shorts because I didn't. I felt that shorts belonged on a different platform because that's their thing. Talking about TikTok, but I after watching some videos from others and then hearing others' experiences with doing shorts, it's a way to get exposure. A big turnoff for me was that shorts view time doesn't count toward your view time. So whatever. I'm like, why not? But anyway, the big thing is exposure for shorts. I've gained a number of supporters through those shorts that they might not have come across my content had they not seen the short. So that's a big part of it too. You're absolutely right. Fishing Local 336. Live streams help with watch time hours tremendously. Tremendously. You definitely want that in your repertoire if you're serious about getting your watch time up. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. All right, the final quiz. Question number 4. Do you use end screens, cards, link in the description, and or pinned comments, links in your pinned comments for your videos? Those are all tools within your YouTube studio that you can use to direct people to your videos. Do you use all of those tools in your YouTube studios? End screens, cards, links in the description, and pinned comments. Fishing Local 336 says yes. Mark J. Larson Outdoors says yes. Wildman 307 Outdoors says yep. And Fishing Local 336 says except for pinned comments. Okay. Okay, this is good. This is good. Yeah, you kind of got to watch that. But you can use all of these tools as much as you want. The end screens, the cards. I mean, there's a limitation on cards. I don't think you can put more than 2 in a video. That's just a standardized limitation that they put on it. But you can put 2 in every single video that if you wanted to do that. You could absolutely do that. And then a link to one of your other videos in a video description, and then a link to a video in a pinned comment. I'll give you an example on one of my videos this year. My very first muskie, it was a small muskie. It was like a 30-inch muskie. It wasn't very big. And so in the comments, I went into the comments and said, if you'd like to see the biggest muskie that I caught this year, check out this video. Boom, the link was right there. So that was a good way of using pinned comments to direct someone to a different video if they were watching that video and go, well, gee, that's a small muskie. I don't know, it's a big deal you caught a thing. Oh, well, look here in the comments. He's showing there's a bigger one. Well, let me go watch the video of the bigger one. That's huge, folks. That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. That is huge. Okay. Doing that, Al, on your phone might be tricky, but you should be able to pull up a link for a video, copy it, and then paste it. I know I've done it on my phone. I have copied a link for a video. Kind of almost like if you were doing it on, have you ever put a link to a video on Facebook? You would copy the link and then share it on Facebook. You would paste it into Facebook or something. I don't know. It's kind of the same way, but instead of pasting it on Facebook, you would paste it on the comments. and then there's 3 little dots on the comments. You click on those, and you can pin that comment to the top. That way, anybody that's watching your videos, if they go to the comments, your comment referring them to a different video is always going to be right there at the top. I can't help you. She don't want to come out of there. She's probably in there sleeping. I doubt she's sleeping. Anyway. Chew your bone. That's good for you. That's one thing in this house you can chew on. Your other one's in the basement. Silly Bob. So that was the quiz. You all did really fairly well with the quiz. The last question is kind of a key. And I saw one of these experts or gurus of YouTube. I don't know if I should say that. A guy that knows YouTube really, really well and how to take advantage of YouTube and how YouTube works and how to trigger that algorithm. He talked about using all of these tools that YouTube provides to us is super helpful and can trigger that algorithm. The end screens, the card links, the links in the description, and the pinned comments. And you might think, oh, well, that's only for the big channels, the ones that get tons of volume. And, what about me? I've only gotten maybe a dozen views off of end screens. The key is that anyone that would click on an end screen, it's a huge shout out to YouTube. It says, I want more of this. And it's the same thing for the cards, and it's the same thing for any video links that somebody would click on that's in the video description. Any place in your video where you're directing someone to more of your content and they do that, YouTube is going to send them impressions of your content again and again and again and again. In fact, it's probably going to be the first or second impression that they see for video up next in the sidebar. Or if they go to the home screen, it'll be in the upper left-hand corner. It's going to be the first or the second video that it suggests to them. It's a huge, huge signal to the YouTube algorithm that this viewer wants more of this person's content, their stuff. And when you get right down to it, YouTube's entire goal is to get you, the viewer, to stay on this platform forever. Now, they know they're not going to succeed. They're not perfectionists. We all have to eat. We all have to work. We all have to exist. We all have to families. Life comes before YouTube. None of us are going to stay on YouTube forever. But YouTube's goal is to get you to stay on the platform for as long as possible right now. Well, Anti, you keep working at it. You got some homework to do. Right, Al. You don't want to do that. And I can appreciate if you're coming at it from a teaching standpoint, aspect, recruiting youth into the sport, all those things. I appreciate all those things. But YouTube, it does have their funny rules. It is their platform. We do got to play by their rules. But let's get back to this. When you hit one of those tools as a viewer, you have done a huge shout out to YouTube that says, I want more of this guy's content. I want more of this guy's content. And it's going to start popping you up first or second to that viewer, right? And those are the impressions. The impressions are worth gold. Okay. Now, if you're brand new to YouTube, right? Anybody that has any aspirations of growing their YouTube channel into something that could generate a nickel a day in the future, you don't want to target your stuff to kids anyway, because it's never going to go anywhere. But again, going back to Al's point, I think I know where he's coming from. He's hang on a second. What are you doing now? Working on your towel. Okay. I appreciate where he's coming from, and that's very noble. I just don't know if this is going to be the best place to accomplish those goals. Cranking and Yanking is in the house. Welcome in, welcome in. It's good to have you. We're getting into the good stuff now, boy. The meat and the potatoes of this live stream. The gold mine of YouTube is those impressions. Those impressions. And I don't know if I've seen this talked about tremendously on some of these other, by some of these, subject matter experts, these gurus of Brian G. Johnson. It's the impressions. The impressions. Oh, I was starting to say, if you're brand new to YouTube, if you are brand new to YouTube and you're still trying to kind of find your niche, you're still trying to kind of figure out what you want to do with it, you're still trying to learn editing and figure out how to make videos, you're a regular guy and you're wading in, and maybe you don't want all of the impressions slamming in right now, because then maybe you're not going to have the watch time, the view duration, that average view duration. People might click on your stuff and click off, click on, click off. We don't want to click on, click off. But if you've been at this game for a little while, if you've done 20, 30, 40 videos, if you're growing your channel, if you're going in from time to time and you're looking at your analytics and you'll see that, I don't know if I'm just that gradual, it's growing, it's going the right way. You're getting more views, you're getting more supporters, then you want impressions. Impressions is the name of the game. You're putting out quality content. The more eyeballs that gets in front of, the better. If your click-through rate is plus or minus one of the 6 number, 6%, plus or minus 1, down to 5, up to 7. If you're in that ballpark, you want all the impressions you can get. And those 4 tools drive that. You're going to get a crap ton more impressions, and they're going to be much closer to the next one up type of thing. Impressions. Impressions are key to triggering that algorithm. Here's the last thing that I'm going to talk about when it comes to this algorithm thing. And this is where we as a community can support each other, okay? One of the biggest things you can do to show support to a fellow YouTuber, well, there's 2 things that you can do. You can watch their videos, and you can watch more. You can watch their content, and then you can watch more of their content, right? And I'll try to give you an example. Let's say that Al's Outdoors is a channel that I support. I enjoy his content. I like his channel. I like him. I go to his channel often. And it's hypothetical, but let's say Al's putting up content once a week. Hey, we got Freezer Bound Outdoors is in the house. Welcome in. I don't know why I did the air quotes, but Welcome in, Adam. It's good to see you. I'm talking about the YouTube algorithm, and I'm really getting into the nitty gritty here. So, impressions is the name of the game. You want as many as possible. If you're supporting your YouTube friend, and Al's Outdoors, that's the example I'm going to use. It puts up a video once a week. I go to his channel once a week and watch his latest video one time. I'm spending that much time on his channel. No, that's cool. That's cool. Off the Hook Outdoors. No worries. So I'm telling YouTube that I like this guy's content once a week. I might be telling all of the people that I support, or telling YouTube that that's how I support all of the people that I support. Well, that's triggering the algorithm to the scale of maybe a 3 out of 1 out of 10. I've triggered that algorithm to the degree of a 3, right? Now, let's say that I take a device and I go to Al's channel and I find a playlist and I put it on play and let it run all night long. Maybe I kill the sound, whatever. And I let that play all night long. And now I have just told the YouTube algorithm that I want to watch this content over and over and over and over and over and over again. I can't get enough of this content. I gotta keep watching this content. That tells YouTube that here's a viewer that is viewing this content and is viewing it over and over and over again. Well, there's probably others that are going to do the same thing. We're going to send more impressions out to these people and these people and these people and these people and these. You want those impressions. You want those impressions going out, especially if you're churning out content. You got a handle on things, and you got a really good click-through rate. Impressions are king. They're gold. One of our playlists almost 4K. Great. Well, and Adam, it's funny that you say that, because I have been actually working to build up another YouTuber's watch time. And I got to thinking about it. I am going to change that approach of supporting this one person running their playlist every night, all night. I'm going to rotate that around all of my people. And you're one of my people. So tonight I'll be running your playlist all night long. Tomorrow night, it might be Off the Hook. The next night, it might be Mark J. Larson Outdoors playlist. The next night, it might be Shit Happens. The next night, it might be Frontier Survival. The next night, it might be Boxy Outdoors. Again, that's triggering that algorithm. I have just told the algorithm, I like this guy's content, and I like it over and over and over and over again. That algorithm is going to try to find somebody else that feels the same way. It's going to kick those videos. You're going to get a ton more impressions. It's not just about watching someone's videos. If you truly want to support your community, and I know a bunch of us do this, M&K Outdoors was close and we were running their playlists, and we're doing that with Freezer Bound Outdoors now. We're doing that with Backwoods Barbarian now. We did it with Boxy. We did it with Daddy Duck 365. But it doesn't have to stop there. My point is, we can all do this and just round robin the people that are in our community and trigger that algorithm for everybody, because that's going to kick out impressions. It's going to kick out those impressions. Those impressions are worth their weight in gold. Yeah, and it's again, round robin that. Move it all around. Show it to everybody that's in your, that's in your community. And again, if you're not taking advantage of using all three platforms, try to live stream. Not everybody likes live streaming. It was a little bit uncomfortable for me at first, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. If you want to start out live streaming, you can do it on the YouTube platform if you want. If you don't want to get other software, if you don't have that. I know Al says he just uses his phone. You can get StreamYard on your phone, although I think I saw on another live stream you were trying to do that, and you had all kinds of fits with StreamYard. There's other ones. It's not just StreamYard. You might look into that. I don't know. But it could be a short one. Pick a time slot. Do a 15-minute live stream. Do a 30-minute live stream. Just get on, ramble on, jump off. Maybe pull someone up on panel, bounce some things off of them, your weekend plans, whatever. Do a live stream. Do some shorts. Shorts are so easy. And they kick you out they get you exposure. That's what the short shelf is going to do for you. It's going to get you exposure. I'm not even much of an outboard guy, but when I got that new Suzuki outboard, I did a shorts video, and it's got, 2,300 views, right? And I think I've gotten 7 or 8 supporters off of that. And if I didn't like doing shorts, I might not have got those viewers. So it's the live streams, the shorts, and the regular videos. Try to take advantage of all those things. And do not be afraid to use those tools. Use all of them. Use your end screens. If you're not using end screens, you absolutely should be using end screens. And then, cards. And cards can be tricky. You almost have to be thinking about a card when you're making your video. When you're out at the lake or the woods or hiking or scouting for a hunting trip, you almost have to be thinking in advance that you're going to film yourself and say, oh, by the way, I'm in this spot hanging my tree stand today because of the scouting I did back in March. That video is right here in this card. Be sure and check it out. So then people are going to click that card. That's end screens, the cards, and then putting a link in a video description or even in the comments. I find that a lot of people do not even know that the video description is there. Emmy. They don't even know that the video description is there. Or if they do, they don't know that there's a little button that says more, that they can expand that box and see a bunch more stuff. So the video description, I don't know if that's the best place for a link, but they say that that's a tool. If you're routing people to another piece of your content, that's triggering that algorithm. That's going to kick out more impressions. But then definitely the pinned comments. That's a great one because people always go to the comments. So if the first comment they see is one that says, hey, you should also check out this video because it's great for whatever, blah, blah, blah. Think about it. I got a video of a small muskie, and I'm telling them, hey, if you want to see a bigger one, check this video. Of course I want to see a bigger muskie. Doesn't everyone? Someone may have never even considered watching another one of my videos, but if they see that comment, maybe they think, I'm going to go check it out. Subtle ways to drive that additional watch time, additional view, and that tells YouTube, hey, here's a guy that wanted to watch the content, and now he's watching more of the content. We got to kick this out to more people. There might be someone else like him that wants to watch his content and watch more of it. Those are the two things that algorithm wants. And if you do that, they're going to kick those impressions out by the thousands. I promise. And I'm working on it. Building in more of those tools, taking advantage of more of those tools. Hey, Adam, don't work too hard tonight. Well, yeah, and you know, when I participate in a live stream that's about growing my community, I try to be focused. I'll be open, and I will admit that I'm not super excited about gardening. So when I'm in a grow channels live or whatever that's got homesteaders and outdoors folks and farming and there's a channel that's predominantly just gardening and vegetables, I'm probably not going to go and be a supporter of that channel. I try to be focused. I'm looking for channels I want to support, and I hope that they'll support me. I shouldn't be supporting a gardening channel if I'm not going to be true to it. If I'm going to go there, watch 40 seconds of a video, and then click off, and then click the subscription button, and then click off of it, and then never go back. I shouldn't be doing that. None of us should be doing that. But if you enjoy a fishing channel and you check out their content and you're like, yeah, I like this stuff, then definitely support that channel. Build them into your community. And that's where you can really, that's where those grow lives and grow channel, that's where you can kind of, you can utilize those to grow your community. You really can. But that shouldn't be the only thing that you're doing. You should be doing these other things to trigger the algorithm to kick out your impressions, because that algorithm will eventually find the like-minded people, the people that like the fishing, the people that like the hunting, the people that like the trapping, the people that like the hiking or whatever it is, the niche that your channel fills. But we have to work at that. We have to try to get those people to trigger. So that's my takeaway for you all, is that impressions are gold. Though that's the key to the whole thing. You want to get as many impressions kicked out as possible. And showing support in your community, round robin that playlist played at night thing. I even do it sometimes during the day when I'm at work. I just put something over my laptop or flip it over to a different window while another window is playing somebody's live stream. That's going to be tremendous. It's going to be tremendous for the folks in your community. I have rambled on now for 90 minutes. I can't believe it. I was actually going to pull someone up on panel, and I didn't. Maybe I'll get into that next week. I'd really like to get a little bit more engagement, participation. It's hard for me to talk for 90 minutes. It really is. And I felt really, really passionate about this. So I did kind of go on and on and on. Mark, you stayed to the end, brother. I really, really appreciate it. Yes, that's the whole point. Off the Hook Outdoors. You're gonna make a comment that says, blah, 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 blah about this bass, blah, blah, blah. Check this one out. And you're going to put the link for one of your videos in that comment. And then you're going to pin it to the top. You're trying to spur their interest in one of your other videos. The last thing I'm going to say about this subject is that for the most part, YouTube, it's something like 80%, 70 to 80% of the people that view your videos are not subscribers and they've never seen your channel. That's what the data shows. It's not just for my channel. It's not just for Boxy's channel. It's not just for Al's channel or Mark's channel. It's for, the big mega YouTubers that have 1 million subscribers, people that have 80,000 subscribers, people that have 10,000 subscribers, people that have 200 subscribers. The vast majority of the views come from 70 to 80% of the people that are not subscribers. They're not in your community. That's those impressions. Do everything you can to tell YouTube to kick out more impressions. You want more impressions because more impressions drives everything else. All right, folks. That's all I got for tonight. I appreciate you all hanging in there with me. I rambled on for a long time. That's a lot of rambling from Kyle at Dark 30 Outdoors. But, hey, I wanted to share that knowledge, share that information. I think a lot of people did gain some things out of this. And I think this is going to be a really, really worthwhile live stream that folks can come to and check it out at any time on down the road. Some of them it's just really entertaining that you wanted to be a part of one that was live. But this one, it's useful information, so it'll stand the test of time. And hopefully we all take some of these things and put them into practice and support each other and continue to grow. That's the name of the game. As always, thanks for watching and have a great night.